All right. Let's see if we actually got everything going on here. Whew. Let's see if the audio is coming through. And is it? I don't know yet. I guess we'll find out. Hello. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Perfect. All right. Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome back to Misfit Corner Scams. This is the arse knows Andrew speaking, and we are live streaming. I know this is, once again, not the normal night. This is Wednesday night. Normally, we do this live stream on Saturday night. But just like last Saturday, I have things happening, so I'm not going to be home to live stream. This Saturday is my parents' 50th anniversary party, and I will be attending that. Actually, when I originally talked to my parents, when we were originally setting up the plans, my sister said that she did a little bit of research and found out that the only person that has to do a speech is my father, something nice to his wife, and then nobody else has to make speeches. And I was like, but you guys know me, I like to talk. I said, I'd love to do a speech. Well, I guess they forgot about that conversation because now me and my brother-in-law are going to be doing speeches, and I'm like, yes. So in other words, I got to write a speech, and I got to get that done within a couple of nights. But that's all right. I've already started working on what I'm going to do, so it's good. Oh, hey, let's see. Manuel's here. Hey, Manuel. Manuel says, good evening. Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. It is. I'm sorry about the Jaguars Chiefs this weekend and last game didn't work out. Dallas Cowboys right now, or rest in peace. Hey, one of the phrases that Jaguar fans are very used to saying, there's always next year. So we're looking forward to that. Oh, hey, Dillard's here. Hello, sir. How are you? He says woo woo and sends me a $2 chat. Thank you very much, sir. It's good to hear. It's good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's going well for you. Dillard is one of the guys that was around when the channel was originally just a comics channel. We did a lot of drawing and so forth on the channel, and he is a fantastic artist in his own right, and good to have him here. All we're doing tonight is just catching up on the Scam channel. I don't know what happened. I actually we got back Sunday morning, actually. Don't tell my boss I said this, but I went ahead and took Monday off just to chill and relax. And I didn't have a lot of scam activity on Monday, but Tuesday I was slammed, and not complaining, but it was like call after call after call after call, and yeah, there we go. Oh, Bill's here. Bill says, here I am, Sam I am, not really. Well, thank you, sir, for joining. I appreciate it. Manuel says, how was your vacation and your wife? You enjoyed yourself with your wife? Yes, I did. What was funny is one of the things that I was looking forward to doing is on cruise ships. As most of you all know, I understand Disney cruises don't, but most cruises have casinos and you get to go and gamble. And I'm not good at it, but I like to do it. So I always limit myself. I have a very specific amount of money. This is it. Once it's gone, it's gone. And I brought $100. And let's just say when I left the ship, I still had $100 in my wallet. Very good. Not really. The reason I say not really is because my wife actually put a little bit of money aside for me for playing at the casino. And she gave me that money on day one, and I blew it all on day one. But then with my money, I won a little, lost a little, won a little. And when I left, broke even. But that was fantastic. That was great because last time I went on a cruise, I had $100 and I came back with 50. This time I went with 100 and came back with 100. But I had a great time. I had a lot of fun. I got to play blackjack, which even though in my mind, that's my game, I'm not good at it. And the other game I played was roulette. and they had one of the auto roulette machines where 6 people could sit around the thing, and it auto does everything, where you make the bets on the screen and so forth. I did pretty good with that one, and I actually got to spend some time with the wife. She got to do it too, and just had a good time. Had a good time. Fearful Milk's here. Hey, Fearful, how's it going, sir? He says evening. Manuel says this weekend is your parents' anniversary. Yep, it is. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I was working on what my speech was going to be, and today my wife and I had to go somewhere, and I said, hey, let me throw out some of the lines I'm planning on for my speech, and I threw out some really good ones. And she says to me, she says, you do realize the speech is supposed to be about your parents, right? I said, yes, I know. I'm going to fill it in with some good stuff about them. I'm just working on, the self-deprecating humor stuff, which I'm really good at. Actually, I have a really good line. I'll tell it to you guys now because it was really funny. Yeah, and this is the truth. This is the absolute truth. When my mom initially told me and my sister that they wanted to have this party, she said, hey, I want you guys to come over one night, just me, you, and just the kids and my parents, my mom and dad, and I want to fill you in on all the stuff that I want. And no problem. So I came over, my sister came over, and we met there. No, our husbands and wives were not there. It was just us. And my mom starts going through this list of things that she wants. She said, I want it at a restaurant or a dinner hall or someplace nice. I want to invite a whole bunch of people from out of town. I want to send out invitations. I want to do this. I want to have a cake. I want to have a big wedding cake. And she's going through this whole list of stuff that she wants. And I look over, and my dad, he's just nodding his head, going along with it. And my sister has a notebook, and she's frantically writing down notes and keeping everything. And my mom's going through this list, and the first thought that goes through my mind is, oh, thank goodness she's not talking to me. I'm already thinking about what I'm going to put in my speech. I'm not thinking about anything else. I said, thank God for my sister, because the whole thing was for my mother to inform my sister and for me to help pay for it. Period. My mother knew that, and so that's why she invited both of us, but she knew I wasn't paying attention to any of the details, and that's fine. She knew that. She didn't expect me to do anything except help pay for it. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, thank God she's not talking to me. I know, bad son, bad son. But hey, my mother, my father, my sister, my wife, all my children, all my family, they know me very well. Actually, I don't know if I told you guys this, but it was pretty funny. My sister, when she sent out the invitations, had RSVP cards to send back. And my mom asked her to add something to the invitations at the bottom that she thought was funny. And the invitation said on the bottom, if you have any questions, please call Tracy. It's my sister. Don't call Drew. He has no idea. And all I could say when I saw that, because they didn't tell me they were doing this before they were sending it out, I actually got the invitation in the mail and read that and went, yep, they know me really well. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. My mother actually told me, because I told her Saturday nights when I usually live stream with you guys, she said, why not live stream from the party? And I'm like, I might do that, but I don't know how the rest of the people would feel about me doing a live stream. But hey, you never know. We might try it and see what happens. But we did recently get word that the DJ that they hired came down with something and is sick, and he may not be able to do it. So if he can't do it, that means me and my brother-in-law get to be DJs. I have no problem with that. Be a lot of honky-tonk music and, AC/DC and stuff that my parents had. Yeah, I know. All right, let's get serious now. Let me go ahead and catch up on the chat and see what else is going on, okay? Andy's here. Hey, Andy, how's it going? He says, Where did you go on your cruise, Drew? And how much was it, if you remember? Um, it was a whole new cruise line. We had been on cruises before with Carnival and Royal Caribbean, but it had been many, many years. This was with a new company, or at least new to us, called MSC, I think is the name of it. And they apparently purchased a small island in the Bahamas where they did renovation on it. They built up some like townhomes and stuff like that, and have a private beach and a private lagoon for scuba diving and all this. That's where the boat went. The boat went to the island. We parked there for 2 days, and then we drove back. Or not drove back, but you know, shipped, cruised back. And the wife and I, we didn't get off the boat because we're not excursion type people. Um, so we just enjoyed it. We enjoyed the food. We enjoyed each other's company. We enjoyed the shows. We enjoyed the casino. And regrettably, I watched the Jags lose on Saturday night, but that was okay. I mean, I was glad they got as far as they did, and next year will be even better. So, but yeah, we had a great time. So, Kathy's here. Hey, Kathy, how's it going? It says, hi from Virginia. A funny thing, I have family in Jax. Very good. And your voice reminds me of one of my cousins that lives there. Just thought that was cool. Oh, okay. Kathy Rogers. Wonder if I have Rogers in my family. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. That's that. Believe it or not, that's a question I'd have to ask my mother. My mother is much more up to date on the family and the extended family and so forth. Um, the funny thing is a lot of the family is on Facebook and keeps track of. And I've been off Facebook for years now. I just haven't had time to pay attention to any of that stuff. But I'll have to ask Kathy Rogers. Okay, hey, you never know. All right, let's see what else is going on. Manuel says, I watched your video this morning. It was very funny. Yes. Well, I got a couple of those really funny videos, and I got to make them into videos for you guys. I had one where I was actually serenading, singing to the I promise that one will. It was funny, but it was only funny because I'm a horrible singer. But the one this morning was great in the fact that it was just a regular call, and all of a sudden the guy starts saying crazy stuff like, "Do you know what an a-hole is?" And I'm like, this conversation went really far to the left, really quick, and it dawned on me that the guy probably has spoken to me before. He is, because I've gotten a lot of those calls, and I always wondered, what do they do when they recognize my voice, or they recognize my name, or they recognize the number they called? And I think most of the time they just hang up, because I get every Amazon call that I've gotten in the last couple of weeks. If I actually talk to a person, as soon as I start talking, they just hang up. They don't even try to do a scam, because they realize either they've talked to me before, or they know for a fact I'm going to screw with them, which I do. But a lot of other ones I get constantly, and it always funny to me when I realize that the person I'm talking to recognizes me. It's like, hey, you dumbasses called me, So I'm not calling you, you're calling me. So if you're going to keep calling me, I'm just going to keep screwing with you. So anyway, Bill says, have fun. Just don't be like Franklin. Like Franklin. All right, now I don't get the reference. You're going to have to fill me in. Tara 80's here and says, hello, welcome to the show. Manuel says, I get emails from scammers about a package I need to confirm. I need to pay $195. I delete, put it in the trash. Very good, very good. Kathy says, Brad Street is the name down there. Oh, okay. Nope, I don't know anybody by Brad Street, so you'd be amazed. There's a lot. We have a lot of family around here, especially family I'm not familiar with, but that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, a lot of people end up in Jacksonville, believe it or not. Studios here. Hey, man. Hey, Avery. Trying to watch yours and Todd's stream at the same time. He's running late. Well, see, you should join my show then. Let's see. Kathy says, also, I'm a diehard Washington Redskins. They'll always be the Skins to me. Yep, I understand that completely. Fan. But I did pull for the Jags. They're not playing. When they're not playing my team. Yes, I understand that completely. My people, we used to always have that conversation. Who's your favorite team? And I says, well, it's one of two teams. It's either the Jacksonville Jaguars or whoever is playing the Colts, the Titans, or the Texans. Those are my favorite teams. Those two teams are my favorite. And it changes. As long as whoever's playing them beats them, I'm happy. Manuel says, good evening, Studio 7.62. Happy Wednesday, hump day. Yep. I did send him the invite. If he wants to join, he's more than welcome to. But Todd, for some reason, live streams on Wednesday night as well. So Todd's one of my buddies. He's been here before. He has a channel called Clever Era, and we live stream with him on Thursday and Friday nights. Thursday night is Lore Games, and Friday nights is Comic Talk. And what's really funny is the last time I had to miss a Lore Games, which is one that we talk about writing and developing comic stories, I joined the following week, and I was lost because they had made some decisions and made some story ideas, and that I didn't realize that they had done it. So when they brought it up, I was like, what the heck are you talking about? Where did this all come from? Because I missed a whole week. And this time I was smart. I actually watched the live streams after the fact, and they were having such a good time. It's like, this is going to be great. Andrew's going to join next week, and he's not going to have any clue what we're talking about. Ha, ha, ha. I paid attention. I listened to both streams, so I know everything. So we'll see how that goes. So tomorrow night should be fun on Clever Era for the Lore Games, and then Friday night. Friday night I can't do. I may not be able to stream with them, or at least not at the beginning, because we have another family thing that's going on. When family comes to town, you have to do crap, and that's just the way it goes. But luckily, we don't do things during the day, so I have time to do work and take scam calls. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Bill says Franklin was addicted to the evil one armed bandits in the Twilight Zone episode. All right, I don't remember that one. I'll have to look that up. Bill, you have some weird references, but I appreciate it. Andy says, hey, I had 2 Amazon calls today and actually messed with them, and they about a Texas, Cal, New York, and 2 others, I can't remember, in from Texas, and told them, and he hung up. Okay. Oh, the Amazon scam I got just recently was more of the regular ones where they call, hey, you got an iPhone being ordered on your account. I'm like, ooh, really? Well, who's ordering me an iPhone? And as soon as I start talking to the person, then they hang up. So that's all right. Kathy sends a smiley face. Bill says, the Reaver episode. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I have seen some Twilight Zone episodes, but I'm not a Twilight Zone aficionado. I'm not to the point where I can remember it off the top of my head. But, if Bill knows the name, the Fever episode. Okay, I gotcha. All right, cool. I'll have to check it out. Manuel says, how is Betsy doing? How is she doing today? The monster, yes. She's got a new favorite place. When the wife and I have dinner, we usually watch TV in the living room while we eat dinner, and we'll have a dog or a cat or 2 sitting on us or sitting with us. And she likes to stretch out across the cable box because it's nice and warm, which isn't a problem, except for the fact she ends up sitting right in front of the part of the TV that has the sensor that picks up the remote. So while she's laying there basking in all of her glory, you cannot change the channel or louden up the volume or any of that stuff. It's like, cat? And I know she does it on purpose. I know she does it because she knows it drives us crazy. But that's okay. That's what she does. But she's doing good, Manuel. She's doing great. She and the other cats are all doing good, and she is definitely the monster. I have to, when I'm doing my live streams, I have to shut the door to keep them out. Otherwise, they'll come in here and start bugging everybody. And maybe a little later, she'll come in and I'll show her to you guys. But she's doing good. She's doing good. I'll let her know you asked. Thanks, Manuel. Anyway, okay. Whew. Well, I was just thinking there was something I was going to tell you guys about. Hold on a second. I had a list of calls that I got yesterday that I'm going to be making into videos. Let me look really quick and see. There was a Medicare COVID call. I got another one of those this morning where they're calling about free COVID tests, but all they want is your Medicare information so that they can bill Medicare, which I always find interesting in the fact that they're going to send you something for free, but they're going to bill Medicare for it. Yeah, I don't think so. That's not going to happen. There was a wonderful. Okay, let me just give you guys an idea of what I do here. When I make a recording, when they called in and I record it on the video, I usually save the video. I put the date and what type of scam call it was, and then in bold letters, I'll kind of write myself a note, like kind of flag myself. Like if I put the date and then I write healthcare or Amazon, and then it has the words gold after it, I know that's a really good one that I should make into a video right away. This one says healthcare wonderful. I don't remember what it was about, but obviously at the time I thought it was wonderful. So that'll most likely be tomorrow's video. There's a credit winner. There's a Medicare Jason hang up. There's a Medicare okay, which I think I know what that one is. There's healthcare wonderful, and then a callback. Amazon hang up, Medicare, Lisa Steven. Okay, I think I know what that one is. Healthcare callback singing. That's the one where I sung to the guy. Okay. Then there's a cable one, another Medicare COVID one, Obamacare, and then a / AT&T, and then a car warranty one. Oh, the car warranty one was funny. So everybody out there gets the car warranty calls all the time. You guys know about these. They don't I don't believe they originate in foreign countries. I think they're set here in the U.S., but they're very, very pushy. I mean, you guys probably are very familiar with that, where they call you up and they tell you their records indicate that your car warranty is expired or expiring, and they're calling to set you up, right? They're ready to do it. And this particular call, it was a foreign sounding guy who said, I'm calling about your car. And I said, okay. He says, well, I'm going to transfer you now. And then he transferred me to an English speaking woman. And I'm like, this is once again how they get around the national do not call list, calling people, that are on that list. And I got annoyed like right away. And the lady starts talking, and I'm like, you have heard of the national do not call list, right? And she's like, yeah, but, and she literally tells me she doesn't care. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay, well, what's the name of your company? And I start getting information from her, and I go to the FCC website where it actually lists out the form for making a complaint about a company calling you when you're listed on the national do not call list. And I'm like literally telling her, I'm filling out this form right now with the information you're giving me. And she did not care. She said, that's okay. We are calling you because your name is on our list. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? And then I asked her, oh, by the way, what's my name? And she threw out Clark, which is, as you guys know, is not my name. The name they have, the car they have, none of those things are valid. None of those things are real. I've never, I don't have a, what was it, Grand Caravan 2010? I mean, I may have told them in the past that I do, but I don't ever have that. So their records that they have for my car are totally, completely made up. But I'm asking the lady, I'm on the national do not call list, have been since 2004. Why are you calling me? Well, your name's on our list. I said, I don't care. Eventually she hung up on me, but damn, she was rude as can be. And honestly, guys, if you get calls from these people, screw with them as much as you want. They're despicable people, and they do not deserve your business, nor do they deserve your kindness, respect, any of those things. Be as mean as you want to them, because you know what? They're not gonna stop calling. They're gonna continue to call, and you guys know that. My channel is proof of that. They don't ever stop calling. So, all right, hold on a second. Let's see what's going on here. Manuel says, have new series. It's called The Wolf Pack on CDs. Okay. Not sure what that is, but okay. Bill says, sorry, when I deleted a mistype, you can still see it. Laugh out loud. Oh, okay. So if he leaves a comment and then deletes it, I still see it because it pops up on the chat. So I gotcha. No problem. No problem. I don't mind. Manuel says, oh, he gets a COVID test by email all the time. I delete that and put him in the trash. Good deal. Good deal. Bill says, have you upgraded to Windows 11? I have the upgrade stuck on my in my notifications. A lot of people do not recommend it. I'm on a Mac, so I don't worry about Windows. So haven't worried about Windows in years. And actually, when did I get this Mac? I bought this computer. See, my old job went away. Was it 2016 or 2017? 2016. Yeah, I used to work for a company. I worked there for over 20 years, and my position went away. So I got a nice big severance package, and they let me go, which was not a big deal because I wanted to open my own business, my own bookstore, and so forth. And the very first thing I did was go out and buy a new computer. And I bought this Mac, and I've had it ever since. So I've had it, oh, geez, going on 7 years now. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. And if I buy another computer, it will be another Mac. My mother-in-law and my wife both have Windows machines, and now I'm going to stick with the Mac. It's been fantastic. Nigel is here. Hey, how's it going? Says good evening. Welcome to the show. Furrow99 says, who's stronger, Superman or Thor? Wait a minute. He says, it's like the song, Say My Name, Say My Name. Oh, okay. Good question. Superman or Thor? I don't think I've ever thought about that one. I'm fairly certain I would have to put it in the category of Superman, to be honest with you. I think because his powers and strength comes from the sun, and Thor's is just, he's a god. He's a I don't know if you would say he's a mythical being, but his power comes from, a lot of it comes from the hammer, Mjolnir, and I still think Superman's got the edge on him, to be honest with you. Yeah, there's the one big debate that we have in the comic book store all the time. This is a classic: is Superman versus Batman, and my answer is always the same: Batman will always win. And a lot of people say, well, how Batman's just a human, and Superman, he's an alien with these powers that make him, a god almost. And the answer is very simple. Batman will cheat. He will always win because he'll cheat. Superman won't cheat. Superman's an honest, decent, person, but Batman will cheat. So that's my opinion. Manuel says, I get PayPal deposits and Zella deposit money scams. I know I've gotten the PayPal ones before, but I don't think I've ever had a Zelly one. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that. I don't use that program, or not program, but app or whatever it is. So it wouldn't surprise me if they sent me stuff. So Bill says, do you remember Clutch Cargo? So stupid, but as a child, I loved him. Clutch Cargo, that sounds familiar. I'm not putting my finger on it. I'm not putting my finger on it. Furrow99 says, thanks. Okay. All right. Well, I think a couple of the calls from yesterday were kind of short, and I haven't made a short one of those short videos, one of the 1 minute videos in a while. And YouTube kind of pushes for you to do that, um, simply because they're competing with like TikTok. Same thing with live streaming, they're competing with Twitch. So they want to have pretty much have everything. I haven't done any shorts in a while, but I've got enough stuff that I probably need to make a few and put them out there. So if you guys start seeing shorts popping up again, it's just simply because it's one of those things where YouTube, they really won't promote your channel unless you do the variety of stuff. And for the longest time, uh, shorts were, you couldn't monetize those. You couldn't add ads to them, and they've recently made it so you could. So I don't know. Do you guys get annoyed by shorts, or do you like shorts? I always find shorts to be a little annoying because I've watched some people's shorts, and you know how they just start back up again. They play and they start back up again. Sometimes I don't realize it started back up again. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't he already say this? I read up, duh, idiot. It's just redoing. So, all right, let me see what's going on here. Oh, Bill says Clutch Cargo's lips only moved. Okay, I got you. It's one of those things. That is cool. 4099 says, I think you nailed it. I like the way you talk about the superheroes. Oh, okay. Well, funny thing about superheroes is it's all opinion. These are just my ideas and my opinions. So, uh, Sam's here says clutch spinner and paddlefoot. Clutch spinner and paddlefoot. Paddlefoot, that sounds familiar. I'm not sure what that is, but okay. Welcome to the show, Sam. Furrow99 says, I think of these scammers as somebody that would steal some old lady's purse, that needs their butts beat. Yeah, I understand that completely. Well, I have a couple of videos on the channel in which they actually tell you we're reaching out to senior citizens. We're reaching out to people with Medicare. They specifically are looking for the most vulnerable people in our society. Now, guys, even though I tell them from time to time I'm 67 or 62 years old, I am not a senior citizen, but I pretend to be one on uh, on YouTube. But I always say I want to waste as much of their time so they're not out there scamming somebody else, because I think almost everybody in the audience probably knows an elder person in their family or friends or relative, who can be easily taken advantage of if they answer these calls and think that this is something that's serious. But it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. And if you guys, honestly, if you have a senior or elderly person in your life, let them know about these types of scams, because that's who they're aiming for. That's who they're trying to reach, because they like to scare them and make them think that the world's coming to an end, and the only way to stop it is for them to give them all their money. you know Whether it's or somebody's ordered something on your Amazon account, whether it's somebody with the I'm sure you guys have heard the calls before from the Social Security Administration, where they tell you somebody's stolen your Social Security number and they need to protect your money, so give it all to them, type of thing. But that's who these people are targeting, is the elderly people in our communities. And if you have somebody like that, if your friends, relatives like that, please, please, please warn them. Let them know this is happening. You know. All right, hold on a second. Let's see what else is going on here. Bill says to Sam Bows, yeah. A Ducky's here. Hey, welcome to the show. Sam says the players in Clutch Cargo cartoons. Oh, I gotcha. Sam says hey to Bill. A Ducky says, from the building fund of the senior citizens and disabled people, including myself, thank you for caring about us. Absolutely. I got really, really serious into this during a time in which my wife's grandmother was diagnosed with onset dementia. And at the time, somebody needed to live with her. And at the time, I was no longer working, and my wife was on disability. We were the closest family that could actually move in immediately and help take care of her. And we would get these calls all day long, and she refused to get rid of her home number, even though 99% of the calls that she got during the day were from scammers. She refused to either change her number or get rid of it, because that was how people knew to contact her. And I took a lot of these calls for her. And that's where Herschel Jones came from. That's where a lot of my characters came from, is they would call and either ask for those people or ask my name, and I would give them fake names. So a lot of those came from that. But I understand that completely about how they target the elderly in our communities. So just a it's I wish there was a easier way to get the word out to people, but it's really a lot of it's YouTube and word of mouth, you know. But whenever I'm listening to the radio and like Clark Howard comes on and talks about a scam that's going on, or the news talks about a scam, I know family members who are the perfect targets for those, and I'll make sure I call them and say, "Hey, be on the lookout for these scams." You know, the ones that call claiming to be from your electric company, you know, without knowing what the name of your electric company is, talking about bills that are going past due and how they're going to shut off your electricity if you don't pay them with a gift card, you know, that type of crap. Let them know. This most people I know are smart enough to figure it out, but some people will not realize that they're being scammed. Um, I have people in the family that have been scammed, and it's something that happens, you know. Bill says, "Don't tell me you don't already know Johnny Quest too." Oh, I'm familiar with Johnny Quest slightly. I never watched the cartoon show, to be honest with you, but I have read some of the comics. Dave Stevens did some of the covers on the Johnny Quest comics back in the 80s and 90s, and that was some really great art. But I am familiar slightly with that stuff. Manuel says, I get phone calls from the Texas. I look it up in the phone landlines. Yep. They claim to be from Texas. They're probably not, you know. Sam says, Banjit and Haji. Yep. Actually, I don't know if that's racially sensitive nowadays or not. They probably couldn't get away with that nowadays, creating characters like that. But Bandit, of course, is the dog. So yeah, they could get away with that. Ducky says, glad to be here. Thanks. Scam baiting rocks. I wish I could do it, but illness. My mom has dementia too, and heavy sundowner syndrome. Oh, that is sad. That's really tough. I understand that completely. Where they go belligerent. Yep. Scammers call her all day long. Yep. Yeah, we no longer we were with her for almost 8-9 months before it got to the point they had to put her in a home. There was one night. I'll tell you guys this funny story. Well, it's not a funny story. It's actually a scary story. But when we first moved in with her, my sister-in-law gave us a little bit of advice, and the advice was she has a pistol. This is Florida. Old ladies have pistols. She says, whatever you do, get that pistol from wherever she has it hidden and just get it out of the house. So when we moved in, I took the pistol and I gave it to my father-in-law, and he was like, okay, no problem. I'll hold on to it. No big deal. Well, there was one night where she had gotten mad at me for something. And I honestly, I don't remember what it was. I don't think she even knew what it was, but she got mad at me and she was tearing up her room. And it's a horrible thing, dementia. I don't wish it on anybody, not even my worst enemy. And she was tearing up her room. And I went and I opened the door as much as I could because she had thrown crap all on the floor. And I said, are you okay? Are you all right? And she came and she looked at me and she said very matter of factly, I have a gun. And all I could think to myself was, oh, thank goodness we got rid of that gun a while ago. And I said, okay. She was looking for it. She was tearing up her room trying to find where she had put that gun. Who knows what she would have done? But that was right in the that was right around the time that my mother-in-law and father-in-law decided she needs to go into a home. So, ooh, I swear I don't wish that on anybody. It's not an easy thing, and Ducky, I my prayers, my thoughts with you. Um, you can only do what you can do, but it's 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 a scary thing. Ducky says, "Luckily, my mom doesn't speak English, or she'd have been scammed 1,000 times." Yes, I absolutely believe that. Furrow99 says, "If they can get that Medicare number, they can charge you, and that continues charging every month. These numbers are worth more than credit card numbers to them." Yes, I do believe that 100%. It's one of the reasons why if I do give them a number, I make it up. I just make up stuff, and they hate it when you do that. But yeah, it's like the credit card numbers I give them. Some of them I just pull right out of my butt. Just make up numbers, and they hate that too. But the idea is I'm going to waste as much of their time as possible. If they're going to keep calling me, I'm going to keep wasting their time. So Bill says, I'm hoping they will make a Johnny Quest movie. That would be very cool. Now, Bill, DC, who owned by Warner Brothers, actually did bring back Johnny Quest in comic form. It ran for a couple of years, but it wasn't Johnny Quest specifically. It was called Future Quest or something along that line, where they actually brought back Johnny Quest and the Herculoids and Birdman and all, and they actually brought them all together into like one universe, which technically they are the Hanna-Barbera universe. And the few issues that I remember reading were absolutely fantastic. I have a regular customer in the store who I turned him on to the first couple of issues, and he absolutely adored it. And every time I find an issue somewhere, I put it aside for him. And I don't know how many issues it went for, but the idea was really cool because it was everybody from Mike Tor, the caveman, to Frankenstein Jr. The what was the trio's name? I forgot what they were, but they brought them all together, and the story was very much about all the characters together in the same world. And Johnny Quest was the primary one. Birdman was another one, but fantastic comics. I don't think it lasted. I think it went for a few years. But if I have some of those, I'll show them to you guys on the stream. But it's definitely something if you're a Johnny Quest fan to check out. But a Johnny Quest movie would be great if they did it right. You know, sometimes they screw those things up royally. Ducky says to Furrow99, what Medicare cover? You need card numbers? Darlene's here. Hey, Darlene says, hi, Andrew. Welcome to the show. Furrow99 says, yes, on the card numbers. Ducky says, on Medicare card, that's a scam I've not heard of yet. How the heck? Well, from what I understand, not just with your Medicare number, but with additional information, your name, your date of birth, your address, your phone number, your doctor's information, with a variety of that information, they can bill Medicare and steal money from Medicare using your information. It's one of the reasons why I never give them valid information ever. And honestly, I've proven it time and time and time again when they call claiming to be from Medicare that they're not, because most of the time they don't know, number one, who they're calling. You ask them, I always tell them, there's 3 people in the house who have Medicare. Who are you calling for? And so, well, I'm calling for you. Well, okay, what's my name? And they'll throw out a name that I made up years ago that for somebody who doesn't exist. Timothy Williams does not exist. Eugene, his brother, doesn't exist. Herschel doesn't exist. Carl Walters doesn't exist. But I get calls for them all the time. But I'm trying to remember. I know I had gotten a call at some point from somebody claiming to be with a Medicare company, and they actually had a valid name. And turns out it was a legitimate call. It wasn't Medicare calling. It was a company affiliated with Medicare. But 99.9% of the time when they call claiming to be from a Medicare affiliated company, they have no clue who they're calling. And I've said it before, there is no way Medicare is going to contract somebody to contact their customers and only give them a telephone number. They're going to, at bare minimum, give them a telephone number and a name. They're going to know who they're calling for. And they've proven to me time and time again, they don't have a clue who they're calling for, which just gives me the permission to screw with them as much as possible, as you guys know. All right, let's see what else we have here. Darlene says, I had to explain to my husband and boys. My son almost got scammed out of a lot of money. I knew what to do to stop it. Fantastic. I always get scared when people call or people say, there's a lot of money involved. It's scary to me how much these people will take from you. I've had scammers tell me, Americans, you're all rich. You're not going to miss a couple thousand here, a couple hundred here. You people you try to take as much as possible. This isn't them taking pennies on the dollar. This is them taking as much as possible from you. If you have $100,000 in the bank, they want $999,990. They want it all, and they won't give up until they get it, or they'll at least try. And they're more than welcome to with me. I have no problem with them trying. They're never, ever, ever going to get it from me. So, Ducky says, I can't put my mom in a home. She wouldn't even be able to say I'm hungry. But it's so hard to deal with the sundowning syndrome. Seroquel doesn't help. Weed does. Oh, I gotcha. I don't think my wife's grandmother was ever diagnosed with the sundowner syndrome. I understand what that is. But she did have issues. And luckily, my in-laws had enough money that they could actually put her in a home. And she was in a home for, goodness gracious, I think almost 4 years before she passed. She passed about a year ago or so. She was very comfortable. They took really good care of her. But she was 96. She was really up there. So I understand it's when you're dealing with family, it's very difficult. I've actually told my kids, I said, if my wife and I get to the stage where we can no longer take care of ourselves, I want my kids to get as far away as possible. Throw us in a home and we'll take care of ourselves. But it's a scary thing, and it happens to everybody. Everybody has family. Everybody gets old. But you got to do what you got to do, and just difficult. Ducky says scammers suck anyway. But those that exploit illness, that's a special kind of bottom feeder. I have lost a few family to Alzheimer and dementia. Yep, same here. It's not great. It's not good. It's horrible. But one of the things I think everybody should be aware of, if you have a family history, be prepared. Try, or at least try to be prepared. Like my kids know, we've given them instructions on what to do if something happens. And luckily for me, my family doesn't have a history of it. My family has a history of craziness, of bipolarness and craziness, but it's usually on the lady side of the family, not the guy side of the family. So it's weird, but I'm there for her. She's there for me. And I think the two of us will be okay. We'll take care of each other. That's the hope. Ducky says, OMG, luckily you hid the gun. Yes, absolutely. Bill says, I tried to use Google Translator on phone calls, but they end after three they end after 3 rings. What's up with that? I have no idea. Ducky says to Kathy, exactly. That's why we need as many scam baiters to waste their time, so seniors are at least a little safer. Also, it helps to print out a little warning list and post it on HUD buildings as warnings. That might be a good idea too. I find it strange that the scammers, these people calling, it's almost like common knowledge. I mean, you guys know about it. I know about it. My family knows about it. Everybody I talk to, they know, they've experienced these people calling, trying to take advantage of them. And the government really doesn't do anything about it. Not even warnings out there. Now, I know I did a video just recently where I had gotten numerous calls from scammers claiming to be from Senior Benefits. Now, Senior Benefits is a valid company. And when you go to their website, Senior Benefits Center, there's a pop-up that comes up right away that tells you we do not do outbound calls. If anybody's calling you, they're not us. They're trying to take advantage of you. Do not give them any of your personal information. I mean, that's at least them doing something. But I don't see anybody else really doing anything. There's not warning. I mean, for as many commercials on TV about the next, dating app or the next infidelity pills, or not infidelity, but you know what I mean, pills to help with guys and their issues and so forth. I don't understand why there's not commercials warning people about scam calls and the type of scam calls that are out there. I just don't see it. I don't know if any of you all see it, but it's not something that's talked about, And I think more should be done. I think more awareness should be done. And because I think there's new scams every week where they're trying to take advantage of people and do different things, and there should be a hotline, or maybe not a hotline, but like a warning. Like, you get those warnings on your phone when hurricanes are close by or tornadoes are close by. You should get notifications about new types of scams that have been identified. I need to go into politics. I need to make that my platform. The education of the communities about scams. I could run on that platform. If the government and the companies aren't going to do anything to stop them, and I'm pretty sure there's stuff in development because it's a big problem, then education is the next big thing. If they took even a small portion of the money they spent on trying to get everybody to get the vaccine, the COVID shot, and spent a little bit of it on letting people know about scammers and scam calls and their tactics and how they do stuff, this could be a better world. That was all I'm saying. I don't know if that'll work or not, but you never know. Manuel says, would you be live again, Drew, that day on Wednesday or Saturday? The party's Saturday, so I probably won't. But the following week, I'm going to try to get back on the regular schedule of live streaming on Saturday. I like Saturday better, to be honest with you guys, because I know the next day it's Sunday. It's a nice day. It's a non-heavy work day. It's a fun day. I don't usually get very many scam calls that day. It's a good day. Sunday's a good day. And after talking with you guys and having these conversations, experiencing a good day, it's just like a twofer. It's like boom boom. I know I'm an idiot, guys. It's all right. But yeah, we will most likely get back to the regular schedule next Saturday, and I hope you all have an opportunity to join. Darlene says, my father is bipolar and developed Alzheimer. He had a hunting gun at one point. We got rid of it fast. Oh boy. Whew. It's a good idea. I mean, you guys probably hear in the news a lot about, you'll hear stories about elderly people actually shooting themselves or shooting somebody in the home and doing it by accident. A lot of it has to do with the mental decay, the mental lapses, and the fact that they don't always know exactly what they're doing. And I've told my mother-in-law, I said, if I come home in the middle of the night and you shoot me, there's nobody going to be here to bring you breakfast in the morning, because I bring her breakfast every morning. I remind her of that, and she tells me she's not going to shoot me. She heard something outside the other night and went and got her gun. And I'm like, what did you think it was? She says, there was somebody outside my window. It was most likely a raccoon because there are raccoons in this area. And she's like, oh, yeah, you're right. It probably was a raccoon. I said, hey, no, don't shoot it either. Don't tell her I told you guys about that. She'd be embarrassed. But all right. Back to this real quick. Furrow99 says, Haji's going to kick your butt if you scam on Johnny's. That's funny. Ducky says, whoa. This Medicare card scam must not be India. Well, actually, they're from all over the place. I don't know if it's India or not. I honestly, from accents, I can't tell whether they're from India or Pakistan or wherever else they call from. But the bottom line is they have call centers set up because you can hear them in the background. You can hear them taking other calls and calling people. But all they want is your Medicare information because they're gonna do some bad stuff with it. So if you have Medicare, please don't share it with anybody who just calls you up out of the blue. Ducky says also Medicare will not even call you ever. They'll mail you paperwork. Yep, that is true. Now you might get calls from a Medicare, not subsidiary, but somebody who works with Medicare. I do have family members that are on Medicare, and we have gotten valid calls regarding Medicare, but it's never Medicare directly. You're absolutely right on that. It's never Medicare directly. Kathy says to Ducky, yes, I am so sorry for what you've dealing with. Also, by the way, I know it's very hard. Yes, it's. I had a coworker when everything happened with the grandmother, and she told me a story. She said her dad had the same issue, but instead of moving in with him to help take care of him, she helped him get into a home and did not move in with him. And I said, and why not? And she says, well, because I knew what was going to happen, and I didn't want to resent or hate him for what happened. And I was like, well, hell, why didn't you tell me that? I volunteered. My wife and I volunteered to do it because we knew we could be there to help her. And there's some people that are so beyond you can't help them, But Ducky says some call centers tell them during training that when they scam USA people, our government or the banks will return every penny to them, so they don't feel so bad taking every last penny from the elderly. Yeah, that is scary as well. That does not always happen. Does not at all. Ducky says to Kathy, thank you so much. Hugs. Very nice. Very nice. Manuel says, Drew, when next live stream on YouTube on a week or weekend, it'll be, if I'm able to do it, I'm going to get back to regular schedule. So it'll be next Saturday. So we're going to take a little bit of time off this weekend and back to the regular schedule next Saturday. Darlene says, my mom will be 95 next month. Oh, goodness. God bless her. My oldest sister lives with her. She moved back home when my father was alive to help take care of her. That's fantastic that somebody's able to be there, The only thing I can really say to that is take advantage of the fact that they're still there and they're still around, and visit as often as possible, talk to them as often as possible, because, we are all here for a very short amount of time. And it's one of the reasons why every time I talk to my kids, every time I talk to my parents, I always tell them, I always remind them, I love you. I don't want the last thing they remember me saying was something other than that. It's important. It is very important. Esmeralda's here. Hey, Esmeralda says, it makes me sad when I see stories about people losing so much money. It is sad, and it happens so often, which is crazy. I get comments on my videos every now and then, and people are saying, how can people fall for this? This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I mean, it's obvious. They wouldn't keep doing it if it didn't work. Somebody out there is going to get scared and think that these people are valid, that they're calling about something valid and get taken advantage of. It's not dumb people. It's not stupid people. It's people who get scared. If they can scare you, they can convince you to do almost anything. You got to be real careful. Ducky says, the government nor banks won't do anything except a little warning in Social Security office I saw yesterday. But that's as much as the CVS does. They definitely could do more. Absolutely. Bill says the IRS and the Social Security Administration puts warnings on their mailings now. Well, that's good. They should send out mailings. For all of the mailings I get about political candidates, and people running for office, the ones, that I usually get and immediately throw away. If there were actually mailings that warn people about scam calls and scam emails and scam texts and all the different ways that people try to take advantage of you, I might not throw that away right away. That might actually be something to read up on. I think a lot of people would like to get that information. If you think about it, for every piece of mail you get that just immediately goes into the trash, how much better the world would be if some of those included information that might actually be helpful to you. I'm not that I'm getting mad about this, but I mean, really, how many times do you get a piece of mail that you just like, oh, horrible, horrible. Furrow says, the nice thing about Alzheimer and losing them that way, or dementia or whatever they still have the memories to cherish. That is true. That is true. And I did the eulogy at my wife's grandmother's funeral, and one of the things I stress to everybody is we all have stories. We all have stories about her and our experiences with her and her life. And she liked to tell stories. Those, as long as we continue to pass them on, are never going to go away. We don't have to tell the stories of the bad times, but we can tell the stories about the good times, the fun times, the times where she rescued somebody by helping them do something and she was a very kind and wonderful person. So those stories are out there, and as long as we continue telling them and talking about them and remembering them, their memory will go on forever. That's a fun thing about being a storyteller, is it's something that can last way, way past you, and it's one of the things I enjoy the most about telling stories, is the fact that the story can go on. This person's life and their memories can go on in the stories we tell. So, Esmeralda says, I agree with you. All right, good. Everybody should agree. Just kidding. Ducky says, sends a smiley face. Manuel says, we've had bad weather yesterday, lots of rain. From what I'm hearing, we're supposed to get some cold weather. One of my coworkers is in New York, and he was telling me how it was snowing, and I told him, well, it's 75 degrees out today. I'm back in t-shirts and shorts just like normal, and he's like, oh, you get to take advantage of the good weather. I said, yeah, well, but I hear it's going to get cold again really soon, so we have to pay attention to that. Bill says, Misfit Corner scams for mayor. That's right. Actually, I don't know if the mayor would actually be able to do anything about it. I think, like senator or representatives might actually be able to pass laws to help people. I don't know. When I told my mother, I did tell my mother one day that when I finally decided to retire from business, from doing my own thing, that I would run for political office. And she kind of shook her head and said, ooh, not a good idea. And I said, why? She goes, you have way too many skeletons in your closet. I told her, what are you talking about? I'm an open book. I tell you guys everything. I have nothing to hide. Obviously, I probably do. I should keep my mouth shut. But Darlene says, we need a new Speaker of the House. Yeah, well, we need a lot of new politicians. There's a lot of crappy ones in there right now. So the list is very long. Ducky says, in 2019, I called Chase for 6 months to try to get them to put a simple clear overlay on the Chase demo page. But nope, they won't. And if they did it, it would have stopped at least a few refundation scams. Wow. Honestly, sometimes the solution is simply communicating, you know? And they're like, I have to wonder, why does Amazon not send out notifications to their customers? Hey, we're not going to call you about stuff like this, and if you get a call like this, it's a scam. It's somebody trying to take advantage of you. You know, in my mind, it wouldn't be a difficult thing to do, but they don't do it, which makes me think either it's a financial thing, or it's a waste of time, or they probably have a dozen reasons why they're too busy to notify people that of potential scams using their name, and they do it a lot. And you guys know this, you know. Manuel says, I have a babysitter. She is down with Down syndrome. Her birthday coming up next month in February. Well, make sure you give her something nice. You know, make sure you just a reminder to the people in our lives that we love them. You know, and we care about them. It's important. Bill says, sorry, stream just crashed for some reason. See you next time. Okay, Bill, take it easy, my friend. Ducky says, see you, says goodbye to Bill. Furrow says, if you get scammed, you have to do a police report right away. Makes it real hard to recover anything if you don't have that. And it's one of those things where if you get scammed for like a small amount, even if it is a small amount, nobody cares. And you know, the police probably won't do anything about it, but you're right. You can't. It's like having a car accident. If you get into a car accident, you have to file a police report because your insurance company is not going to accept your word in a lot of cases. They need something official, you know. So if you get taken advantage of in some type of scam, especially if it's a big dollar scam, definitely contact the police. Ducky says to Darlene, as a caregiver to my mom, while disabled myself, I just hope your sister gets regular breaks and takes care of herself. It's easy to forget about your own life when you have to take care of parents. That is absolutely true as well. I really do feel for people who take care of their family. It's an important job. It's something that everybody will end up having to do eventually in some capacity. But you also have to remember to take care of yourself too. So, let me see if I'm saying this right. Kansky, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but welcome to the show. Says, lately, after messing with scammers on the phone, I've been bruising their egos by ordering and commandeering them to hang up on the call. Tell them that I am in control of their calls now. They hate that. I used to tell them, hey, can you see me? Can you see me through my phone? Because I can see you. And they're usually like, no, you can't see me. Well, yeah, I can. Ducky claps to that. Darlene says, Ducky, we have other family nearby. I live at the furthest away, but I visit when I can. Very good. Very good. Ducky says, also for people who deal with the elderly, record them so that you have memories. I do it for my mom when she's lucid enough to tell me any stories about her life. My wife's grandmother loved to tell stories, and she was at the stage of dementia where she would tell you a story, forget she told it to you, and tell it to you all over again, and forget and tell it to you all over again. So there are stories that we've heard numerous times, and everybody knows them. So it's not a bad thing. It can be annoying sometimes, but it's not a bad thing. Ducky says, otherwise I'd forget it. My own meds delete memories. Oh, I understand that too. Darlene says, Mom remembers a lot. I think I remember a lot, but I know I've got holes. My wife says we both have Swiss cheese brains, where we forget specific things. But it's one of the reasons I wanted to write a book at some point, a graphic novel where I chronicled events that happened in my life. But I don't think anybody really cares. I don't think anybody out there really cares about my stories. But my kids hear them; they know all of them. So. Ducky says, Darlene, good for you, my friend. I'm an only child, so I'm the only caregiver, the only person she yells at. Laugh out loud. I understand that too. Ducky says, my mom's dementia went downhill faster. That cryptocurrency since last. That's good. Sometimes it's slower, sometimes gallops. Yep. There are days when it's good, and there's days when it's bad, and that's just part of life, part of dealing with that. Manuel says, we take her out to a restaurant on her birthday and celebration. Fantastic, good deal. Ducky says, happy birthday in advance to your sis, Manuel. Ducky says, aha, that's exactly what my mom does. Many stories are repeated. Yes. I tell my mother-in-law, whenever my mother-in-law tells me a story that tells it again to me later, I always call her Granny, and it pisses her off because that's what we called her mother, my wife's grandmother. And I said, yeah, sure, Granny. And she's like, oh. Oh, I love her. Ducky also says, Drew, we care. If you ever write that book, I'm buying. Oh, all right. Well, I had actually started. I have stories about when my wife and I first started dating, and those are the stories I like to tell. Those are the stories I remember and like to tell. And I don't know if anybody cares about those, but I was actually working on a graphic novel. It never had an end to it, so it was like how we met, how we got together, how the trials and tribulations of our early years, and you never know. It might happen one day. My daughter's a pretty good artist. My son's a pretty good writer. Maybe the two of them one day get together and tell our stories. So we'll see. Darlene says, I'm the youngest of three girls. My other sister is is a nurse retiring this week. She helps when she can. That's fantastic. Nursing, my mother was a nurse, and that's a very hard, honorable profession. So getting to be able to retire from it, they never actually retire. Nurses never retire. They always still want to take care of people. I forgot what it was. We were doing something, and my mom was sitting down with somebody, and they were telling them about something, and they mentioned they were going to have like a biopsy or done or so. And then my mom started asking questions. And I was like, Mom, it's none of your business. Leave this person alone. Oh, it was the DJ. It was the DJ that was supposed to DJ the party. And I'm like, Mom, leave him alone. He was like, oh, no. He'll tell the story. It's like, Mom, get out of their business. Never stop being a nurse, Manuel says, thank you so much, Ducky, my new good friend. Fantastic. Ducky says, I'm actually been thinking the same. Book and no more cares. However, in my case, it would be such a downer. Not much positive in my life since it started 46 years ago. Well, there's got to be something that you can, I don't want to say it has to be uplifting and have a positive message, but there's got to be something in there for people. You'll find it. You'll either find it or you won't. It's one of those things. Darlene says, I remember at age 18 months bugging my mom for coffee. At 18 months bugging my mom for coffee, she ended that when she gave me cold black coffee. Ooh, I was never a coffee drinker, so stay away from that. Ducky says, holy crap, I just had biopsy yesterday. Screamed, oh no. Well, on that note, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I appreciate everybody who came by and joined the stream tonight. We normally do these, like I said, on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. We usually talk for about an hour. Usually I have somebody with me, either Avery or somebody else will join. Tonight it was just me talking. And I always tell my wife afterwards, I said, honey, do you believe I sat there and for an hour plus straight, just nonstop talking? And she looks at me and goes, yeah, I can believe it. I guess maybe it's something I can do. It's just something I do. But anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. We will get back to a normal routine next Saturday, unless something happens, and I'll let you guys know. I'll put a note out in the community chat. Excuse me, sorry. But things should get back to normal. Now I'm going to go make my video for tomorrow. I hope it's entertaining. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. And everybody, if you, like I always say, if you ever get calls like the ones in my videos, either hang up on them or screw with them like I do. It's always fun. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a great week. Manuel, thank you again. Ducky, Darlene, everybody, thank you guys so much. Take it easy, and I'll see you all next time.